We have all done it. You sign up for a new gym membership, right? Maybe an online subscription. It's a financial commitment that can be made with just a couple of clicks. But trying to cancel, oh, well, that's a totally different story. A federal rule meant to make that process easier for consumers has just been blocked days before it was supposed to take effect. All right, we've got Queen City News. Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young's been following the story, since 2023. Yeah. We've been talking about this click to cancel rule that now is temporarily blocked.
Yeah, and this is an idea that was heavily backed by consumer advocates, and it was simple, right? It's if you sign up for a subscription, you should be able to opt out as easy as it was to sign up for it. That means no phone calls, no jumping through hoops. Well, some major business groups didn't like that and filed a lawsuit saying the rule went too far. Now, that click to cancel rule was part of a broader effort by the FTC to crack down on so-called design tricks that make canceling subscriptions deliberately difficult. Gyms in particular are notorious for doing this, but so are streaming services, newspaper trials, and even online retailers. Now, under the proposed rule, which was set to go into effect yesterday, companies would have been required to let you cancel the same way you signed up, but after legal challenges from business groups, including the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a federal appeals court issued a pause on the rule while the legal battle plays out. Now, consumer advocates, of course, see this as a major step back, while business groups see it kind of as a win for fairness and clarity.
So when you look at some of these business groups, Taylor, what's the main argument here against the rule?
The main argument was that this was a regulatory overreach. Specifically, the FTC, they claimed, really had no authority to kind of tell them how to run their business. And they also argue that this rule could hurt smaller business while it's meant to actually kind of target those bigger retailers or bigger companies. Now, advocates for this pause do see this as an opportunity to kind of flesh things out, saying, maybe there could be a tweak to our policies, but give us time to look at it and reassess them. Let's not kind of put a hard deadline on this. Although on the flip side, there are many, people on the consumer advocate side that say, look, companies are not going to make any changes unless there's a hard set rule here.
All right, so when it comes to the consumer, in the first place, was this even going to have a big impact, or maybe for good for the consumer?
Yeah, well, I will say I do think the average consumer was on board for this, right? But let's look at the numbers here. So the FTC, which was the group that is pushing for this rule to be changed, they estimate that Americans spend billions of dollars a year on these unwanted subscriptions. And the reality is companies do benefit from that, right? Especially if they either forget about these subscriptions or they kind of give up on the idea of canceling it because it's just too difficult to jump through all those hoops. So yeah, industry experts do say that this would have greatly impacted consumers, considering that canceling subscriptions is not just an issue in one industry. I mean, it's across a lot of them.
And it stinks when these businesses say, hey, it's all for the customer.
Yeah.
If that's true, then make it easy for us to get out if we want to. Don't make it so it's always in the fine print at the bottom.
Absolutely.
It's hard to track down. Okay, so where are we with this? Like, what happens next?
Yeah, so again, this is just a pause, right? So this is not being completely canned at this point. But I will say this is a legal battle. And if we know anything about legal battles, is they can be dragged on for months and potentially longer. But we do know that the FTC is not backing down on here. So this is once again another thing that we're going to have to be following. Yeah. This has been in the works since 2023. We're now in 2025, so we'll have to see where this lands.
Hang on to your notes. I'm sure we'll have another conversation in the next 30, 60 days about this, Taylor. Thank you very much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.